rifle is a disgusting piece of bullying political tactics. I'm just not going to buy it. I'm sorry, I don't care. You can hold those pictures up if you want to. You can hold up the pictures of those poor kids, and I don't have any children, but I will tell you this. I have no doubt whatsoever, none whatsoever, that for the parents of those children must wake up every morning and say to God, do every awful thing you have done to me in my entire life, do it to me every hour of every day for the rest of my life, just give me my kids back. I understand that, I do. I understand it. But we have to have some kind of sense of perspective and understanding of what actually happened here. So let's just do a little math, shall we? Let's just do a little math. How bad is this problem so that we're going to pull one of the fundamental planks out of the Bill of Rights, the plank that actually says more than the First Amendment, that the government trusts the people rather than the people being slaves of the government. We're going to pull that away? How bad is the problem? Let's do some simple math. Let's divide by 10. Anybody can divide by 10. So, there's 300 million Americans. 10% of the population is 30 million Americans. 1% of the population is 3 million Americans. 1/10 of 1% of the population is 300,000 Americans. 1/100th of 1% of the population is 30,000 Americans. 1/1000th is 3,000 Americans. And 1/10,000th of 1% of the population is 3 Americans. We have about a third of that every year. If you had a machine that had a failure rate of 1 in 10,000th of 1%, you'd be pretty proud of that machine. You wouldn't destroy the machine with that kind of a success ratio for products. And this is the kind of thing that we have to have if we're going to have an adult conversation about this. So the final thing I'll say about Newton and about all those kids in Aurora and all of them, their faces, when we see those faces and we think, my God, we have to do something. Let me tell you about the faces that we don't see. We don't see the faces of 6 million Jews who were pulled out of their houses during the Nazi Germany years, and a third of these kids were probably children. Occasionally you can see the face of a child being pulled out of the Warsaw Ghetto to be taken out into a ditch and shot. But mass murders occur when the government murders their own people. Now, I saw Piers Morgan say, is that to my friend Ben Shapiro, is that what you're saying? Is that what you're actually saying? Are you saying the government's about to come and murder us? Like he's some kind of super genius, and like Ben is an idiot, like Ben doesn't know what's going on? Listen. This government has already interred thousands of American citizens because they didn't like the way they looked. This president has already signed many executive orders granting him emergency powers, the emergency to be defined exclusively by him, the duration to be defined by him. If these things weren't happening, I don't think I'd be so militant about it. But they are happening. And I am utterly convinced, I've done the math on this, for every single person that dies in a free country because of gun violence, for every little kid that's murdered, I think I can prove that there's 1,000 people dead in ditches in Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union and the People's Republic of China and Cuba and Vietnam and Cambodia and Laos because these murdering savages wearing their own uniforms kicked in people's doors and took their children out at night and shot them in the back of the head. So, we have 40,000 automobile deaths in this country. People say, well, you can't use automobiles because automobiles serve a useful purpose. We have 40,000 automobile deaths in this country against 8,000 murders. We decide, as a civilization, that the utility of driving a car from point A to point B is worth this carnage. And I've decided, personally, that the ability to protect our families, ourselves, and our culture against anybody, against criminals, against foreign invaders, or against our own government, is worth it. Doesn't mean I like it, doesn't mean I approve of it, doesn't mean I'm happy about it. I am doing a risk-reward calculation the way that every single grown adult and free citizen should do about every issue in this country. What's the risk? What's the reward? That's my